Welcome to Between Two Green Berets. I'm your host, Jesse James.
And I'm your co-host, Frankie Four Fingers. And today we're going to cover RFK's clashes with the Democratic senators during the Senate committee hearings over the turmoil happening in CDC. The DOJ considering banning trans people from owning firearms after the last mass shooting in Minneapolis. Ilhan Omar's ridiculous net worth of $30 million. And finally, we'll be looking at some of the previews for the new movie Men of War, which covers a former Green Beret, the failed coup attempt in Venezuela.
All right, so here we go. We'll roll into our first topic. All right, so this is RFK's. I want to go over some of his videos on how he clashes with different senators. So here's a quick 15-second clip.
We are the sickest country in the world. That's why we have to fire people at CDC. They did not do their job. This was their job to keep us healthy.
Thank you.
And I need to fire some of those people to make sure this doesn't happen again. We are.
What do you think, brother?
I feel like RFK is the perfect spokesman for poor health in America. Just from like he's suffering from his own, health issues. And I think somebody's going to take it seriously. It's going to be somebody from the outside.
Yeah, he's very well versed in all of this. I think he is probably the best secretary of health that we've probably had in generations. 40 or 50 years, I'm pretty sure he's probably the best one and most capable to do it. And he's so bright. He brings the numbers and he just beats these senators down to nothing because they're just talking points for them. They don't know what the heck they're talking about, but RFK does. Let's watch Pocahontas here.
I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
What do you think about that?
I like that little, hey, by the way, I did some research.
Oh, yeah, here you go. This is probably a little longer clash. You want to watch this one?
Confirmed in this job.
You're going like this.
That is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
Is that Bernie Sanders?
Away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is, everyone who wants it, that was your promise.
No, I didn't. I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator...
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary...
You want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
No.
You ever picture yourself in one of these things? Like how you would behave if some senator that you were having some issues with was pointing their finger at you and calling you a liar like that in national television? After you're trying to America has a health issue. It's the numbers are unmistakable with that, with the what was the
obesity rate, the autism rate, just health in general. There's everybody is getting cancer. How many people do you know have died from cancer between me and you? God,
we had a GB die from cancer. He was 20 something years old.
We had a couple of them die.
That was the youngest.
Yeah,
that I had seen in the community, at least.
Right. I mean, it's just how unhealthy America is sad. It's sad. I think a lot of the issue I see right here with these senators too is if you look like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, those are probably two of the biggest pharmaceutical like donations or lobbyists, people that lobby for like vaccines and stuff. They pay those senators by campaign contributions. That's why RFK was like, you guys took, or Pocahontas took $855,000 from Big Pharma for her campaign so she can advocate for them against RFK pretty much. You know, here's another one. This one was pretty good.
Enacting an agenda that I think is fundamentally cruel and defies common sense. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do I got a reply? Or, Senator, you've sat in that chair for how long? 20, 25 years, while the chronic disease in our children went up to 76%. And you said nothing. You never asked the question why it's happening. Why is this happening? Today, for the first time in 20 years, we learned that infant mortality has increased in our country. It's not because I came in here. It's because of what happened during the Biden administration that we're going to end.
I'm going to let Senator Wyden respond briefly to that, and then we're not going to go over like we just did.
Committee on a bipartisan basis, enacting an agenda.
Same thing, you know, like he calls them all out on the facts. You know, he's like, hey, you've been here 20 plus years and now you're saying it's RFK's fault?
Can you just take the position?
Or yeah, literally like a month or two ago, 2 months
I feel
ago.
like it'd be common sense to welcome some change if we're having these numbers that are kind of hurting us at this point.
I feel like it's almost like we are supposed to be like the number one in everything. That's how I feel as American. Like we should be the best defense, best healthcare, longest lifespan, you know, everything. We should be number one. We should be selling all our weapons to everybody else and we should have the best stuff. They have like Gen 5 when we have like Gen 8, whatever it is, you know? And we're not that. We're not the healthiest people. Like, obesity in America is insane. It's disgusting. It's horrible. You see it everywhere. Why can't we be healthier? I do like the new generation of less like 21-year-olds to like, I think 28-year-olds are drinking less and they're more healthy and they're thinking about like being healthier. So
well,
it's
now they got more choices now, right? It's like before, if you wanted to self-medicate, you go to a bar. You know, now you can go see a doctor, get medical, marijuana card, and have a different option for coping with some of the problems that you're having.
Yeah. We've learned a lot. And also you can see like what alcoholism did to like your parents if you had that issue. So it probably want to keep you away from it, you know, and it's that trickle down effect.
What are those numbers right there?
Let's see. So take notes that senators screaming at RFK today are all listed have received money from Big Pharma. People being bribed by Big Pharma should be making any healthcare decisions for America. They are obviously compromised. Let's take a look at this. How?
Dude, those numbers are what Bernie Sanders is getting from Pharma.
23 million? That's crazy. Elizabeth Warren, 10 million. That was the girl that was talking next to Bernie Sanders. Look at those top three: 10 million, 14 million, 23 million. What is this medical societies? Look at that. That's crazy. All right. All right, everybody, we're going to roll into our next topic. Our next topic is the DOJ eyes firearm ban for transgender individuals amid mental health fears. What's your thoughts on the ban?
Well, I didn't know that the last number of mass shootings have been involving trans people.
Yeah, it's been a significant amount. I think the last, I want to say 5 to 7 has been either binary or trans shooters. Especially like the Catholic school shooter. That one just happened in Minnesota. What do you think on banning them because of mental health fears?
Yeah, I consider that a mental health issue. And I'm not downplaying, how they feel. I don't know, dude. I always considered I always consider that as a mental health problem. Like, it just doesn't seem normal for me for you to be like, hey, I don't feel like a dude. I think I'm a woman. And I'm going to start doing things to change my body and my appearance to mimic that. If I did that, if I acted like, hey, I think I'm a dog, you think, hey, Frank's lost it. Like,
I mean, we seen that Dimitri guy his friend dress up like a dog, and he was wearing some pentagram thing, and everybody thought that was copacetic.
Dude, could you imagine that? Like, you walk into a gun shop, you're dressed as like a puppy, and you're trying to buy a grok, Can I buy a grok? Like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know, man. Like, sometimes I think of it as like a slippery slope for me, right? Like, so they're going to ban guns for transgender individuals because of a disorder. Sometimes I worry about it with like PTSD or something like that. Like, I'm openly talked that I have had PTSD over, my time in the military. And like, I've gotten help, I've gotten therapy. I'm a lot better person for it. But now, are they going to ever hold that over my head? Like, I'm afraid of that.
Yeah, I guess that is, if they're going to get their foot in the door, that'd be a way to do it. That's this time, right? Because the country's not swinging that way anymore.
With the trans thing?
Yeah, just like, Trump's policies on trans in the military and funding trans surgeries and stuff like that.
Do you think with like, if Democrats came into power and they're like, most of the military veterans are conservatives, they're like, and then some conservative shoots up, I don't know, a bar, or not some conservative, but some military member shoots up a bar and then like kills some people, and they're like, everybody with PTSD, no guns, gone. They ban trans. This is a disorder, gone. Guns are out. No more guns. No more freedom.
You are opening that Pandora's box, right? Like, you're like,
Scary.
Hey, they took it away from these guys. Next.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, it is pretty bold to be like, this is leading to that. Because that's kind of like what it sounds like. Well, it looks like these people have a mental issue because they keep shooting spots of. I feel like there's mass shootings all the time that just aren't being reported. What is considered a mass shooting?
Dude, it almost ties back to like the federal government going into DC, maybe going into Chicago, National Guard and stuff. And then they're taking trans guns away, Oh man, is this like the conservative takeover with the federal government while shrinking it at the same time and taking away vaccines so the Democrats can't track us anymore? I need my tinfoil hat, huh?
Yeah, that's a lot. I get scared of like Well, we had the COVID thing happen, right? And they saw how like everyone just kind of didn't resist, you know? So for a gun thing, I know everybody's like, you can come get my guns. They're going to have to kill me for these guns. And yeah, granted, some people aren't going to be like that. They're going to hold their ground. But at the end of the day, you're an American. They're throwing up these policies and these laws. And I think this might be like how you said, a foot in the door to start taking away those rights from people.
All right. Well, this is a good time to say, hey, check out our merch. We're going to be dropping some new shirts.
Hey, man, that's a nice shirt, dude.
You know, like
How's that feel?
It's really, really good. I think it's like a tri-blend on shirts, going down the rabbit hole with us. Support some local veterans, and another veteran business is helping us get our shirt business going. So make sure you guys check them out. Link will be in our link tree on our social media and also right here on YouTube. All right, so roll back into this. Give us I don't know, man. I think it's a slippery slope. It's crazy. I'll take my tinfoil hat and come back down to reality real quick. And we'll roll into the next topic. So the next topic was Ilhan Omar, right? So Ilhan Omar, her net worth went from like negative 60K or 65K to $30 million in the matter of 4 years. Like that's some Nancy Pelosi level investing in insider trading. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'm speculating. I have no idea, but it sounds a little fishy. I mean, what do they make? $170,000 a year?
We were talking about this last time about how have you made $1 million? Remember that question?
Oh yeah, right.
So, she kind of got in her bag this last year, which is crazy because I haven't really heard much from her like I have in the past when, like Bernie Sanders and that other
Pocahontas,
the other one.
That's her name, Pocahontas. Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, she's
not Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, AOC.
Yeah. They all had like
Latina.
They all had like a big, thing going on in the past.
Oh man, the squad? They called them the squad. Maybe Bernie Sanders was like the weird, creepy guy that would like hang around, man, from like Family Guy. He'd be like, hey, Chris. And it's like, hey, AOC, hop in my plane.
Even seeing like Bernie Sanders at that Senate commission hearing, I hadn't really been paying much attention to what he's been up to. Because normally everything's they always want to, their things are so prepped,
Yeah.
Their events and all the things that they do. But so if you haven't seen, in 2023, what was her net worth? Reported net worth of $205,000. And in 2024, she's up there in $30 million. $30 million 1 year. Pretty impressive.
That's insane. I don't know, like, how. I really can't wait until there's like a deep dive into this. Like, I don't see how she went from, man, you know what? So do you even know the reason why she's here or how she got here? She's a Somali refugee during Mogadishu, right? And when her, like the government that she was running from, her dad was a colonel in the army for the regime that was in control of Somalia, right? And then there was a coup and they overthrew her, like their regime. They were a socialist regime, dictator, they overthrew that dictatorship, the Somali people did. And they went into exile and went into hiding. I think she went to like Ethiopia or somewhere like that and went into hiding. She went into another country, into exile, into a refugee camp, and then ultimately came to America, right? And then there was a story about her marrying her brother to get him citizenship in America, right? So she does this and then ends up divorcing him and then marries this other dude who I think he's a venture capitalist and oh man, I forgot what else he did. But something like that, right? And so now it comes up to this story where she is going through like negative 65,000. Then she's got 65,000 in 2021. And then she goes to having 115,000 in 2022, 205,000 in 2023, and then $30 million. That's a net increase of 3,500%. Like, who can invest like that? Unless your name is Nancy Pelosi, I don't believe it. Let's see what Mr. Trump has to say about it. It's not loading.
So is this net worth that's reported, that's her and her husband?
Yeah.
Because so her husband has the East St. Croix LLC, was valued between 1 and 5 million in 2024. And then Rose Lake Capital was valued between 5 million and 25 million. Combined, that's between 6 and 30 million. I guess that's where that number's coming from, which is still impressive for a venture capital firm that stood at only about $51,000 late 2023. No?
Yeah, that's what he had. I think that's what he started with, was like $53,000 or something like that to start this. That is some impressive numbers.
Yeah, good for you, dude. Good for you.
That's a 66,670% increase. Damn. That is some amazing. Yeah, man. Maybe I should have like hopped on her bandwagon and been like, yeah.
That is at the high end though. You know, I want like, when do you ever get to see like the actual final numbers?
There might be an investigation into this to where you will.
Yeah. You think so? Trump's going to be like, hey, where'd you get that money from?
I don't think Trump will say anything. I think it'll be the other, like House members. They'll be like, all right, look, so we definitely need to see what's going on here. Just since I think they made the Nancy Pelosi Act or something. You remember that? The Pelosi Act or something?
What's that?
Where they stopped Congress members. They stopped like insider trading pretty much from Congress members, because they know what these companies are going to do before they do it, because they're writing the laws. They're regulating these companies, you know?
Oh, you mean like when they have apps created just to follow your
trading habits,
your investments?
All right, let's see what Fox says about this.
Let me give you the perfect example. How about Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar? In February of this year, she shot down claims that she's actually a millionaire. She wrote, my salary is $174,000 before taxes. I don't have stock or own a home, and I'm still paying off my student debt. So if you're going to lie on something that is public, maybe try checking my financial statements, and you will see I barely have thousands, let alone millions. Well, people have checked the public records now. Ilhan Omar apparently has a net worth upwards of $30 million, somewhere between $60 and $30 million. And get this, it's because of companies run and owned by her husband, who in 2023 had a net worth of $51,000. In 1 year, that $51,000 grew from $6 to $30 million, 3,500% growth in 1 year. What a good communist. It's always equality for you, elitism for those in power.
Yeah, that's Fox News.
Yeah.
He just like straight up called her a communist.
She is. She's a socialist. That was the government they overthrew in Somalia. And she comes from that socialist party. Her dad was a colonel in the socialist party.
Can you imagine this like in the 50s? Well, first of all, I don't even know Omar's in Congress, but that's just insane. They'd be like, communists, you gotta hang them, you know?
Yeah. I think they would arrest communists, right? I don't know. That'll be a funny topic to dig into. When was the last time a communist was arrested in America? All right, here's another one. So, with the news of Ilhan Omar's financial disclosure showing her net worth skyrocketing from $6 million to $30 million. Now's a good time to remind everyone she shouldn't even legally be in Congress. She was elected by Barack Obama's CIA operation importing illegal Somalians into Minnesota. This is how Ilhan Omar got into Congress. CIA imports illegals from specific countries, concentrating them into one state. Those illegals then vote to elect congressperson who represent their home country. They then advocate for policies for their home country and the CIA wants. Mike Benz explains this process is how Somalian Ilhan Omar got elected into Congress. It was a CIA operation. Now she's getting filthy rich off of American people. Her husband's firm mysteriously rose from just 1,000 to 25 million in 1 year.
Yeah, it was the 1940s and 1950s. It was used to prosecute members of the Communist Party, USA. Dozens of communists were jailed simply for being leaders of or members of the CPUSA.
It's good.
Yeah.
Maybe we should bring that back. What was it? The McCarthy era?
You have like a public, like I just can't believe that guy just called her a communist. That to me, like, is crazy.
Because it's on the rise, communism and socialism.
But not as crazy as that profit margin right there.
They believed at the time, after the failure of the Bay of Pigs, that there was no direct, immediate way to overthrow Castro in Cuba. And that was what was required instead was a massive commitment from Congress in terms of money and manpower beyond these special operations being done in the form of Bay of Pigs. But the CIA was frustrated that that political will from Congress did not exist. What they're saying here is, since we can't get Congress to take the action we want them to, we don't have the authority because the American people are not voting for what we really want to do. The other option we have is to just do mass immigration of these exile communities of immigrants and refugees. And over time, if we give unlimited support to these exile groups, they will form enough of a lobby on themselves to affect the internal politics of Congress with importing tens of thousands of Somalians into Minneapolis, Minnesota. Lo and behold, that produces a congresswoman like Ilhan Omar, who then goes and advocates on behalf of the Obama foreign policy for Somalia and Eritrea and Kenya and the whole region. Seeing that in writing from the Cloak and Dagger Central Intelligence Agency 60 years ago, and that we're dealing with the same issue right now as we take on the immigration issue, really is a sort of Back to the Future moment.
Dude, what do you think about that? It's crazy, right? You ever watch anything from Mike Benz?
Mike Pence?
Benz. That guy that was talking?
No.
Man, so Mike Benz, we'll give him a little plug on here. But so he really deep dives into USAID, U.S. Institute for Peace. I think he worked for the state. Yeah, he worked for the State Department for a while, and he's really read into a lot of these. He's a well-versed speaker. He'll tell you a lot of stuff. He has his own YouTube channel. Really, anything you want to deep dive into, man, he'll comb through every one of these Epstein files and read through it and, find the stuff that normal people wouldn't find. He just has that, like, I don't know, that sense, or he could just see it before everybody else does, in a sense. He's really good at research. Very good researcher.
I'll check him out.
All right, so we're going to go to the next topic. Our next topic is this movie that's coming out. It's about a couple Green Berets and a failed coup. It's called Men of War. But before we go into that, check out our new shirts. All right, so these are going to be up on the website soon. Tribe Blends. We're going to have some hoodies, get some Maha hats and everything like that. We're going to have some good merch for you guys. Get multiple colors too. Good gym shirts. If you guys want some good gym shirts, Don't forget to check out Between Two Green Berets. All right. So next topic is, so this movie called Men of War is coming out, and it's supposed to come out September 9th, right? And it's about some Green Berets who had a plot to overthrow the Venezuelan government in 2020 through like an amphibious raid. And it ended up being a failed operation, to say the least. But so we'll hop over and watch this. Do you have any more? Do you have any more to say about it?
It's getting some pretty good reviews from people. They're saying that it's a really good documentary. I'm glad they did it because I was always lost with the whole situation. Like, I really did want to know like exactly how things happened. Because, you know, when it first happened, it was a lot of, hey, it's an active guy or this. And like everybody was just kind of, you know, giving their opinions on what they thought was happening. So it's kind of nice to hear it from the horse's mouth. And he's referring to, there's going to be Jordan Goudreau, a former U.S. Green Beret, and he had organized Operation Gideon to overthrow Nicolas Maduro. Obviously, a failed attempt. Guys got captured, right? With their
So my understanding, right? Yeah, they did. My understanding was like, so I was deployed at that time. It was like May of 2020. And I heard about it through the grapevine, you know, and then when I got back, I heard a lot more because they started having like news articles come out and photos of them and stuff. We could probably search for some photos real quick and check it out. But I heard that there was these two Green Berets that ultimately made this guerrilla force in Colombia and then went across the river into Venezuela and started to try to overthrow the government through force, through like our normal guerrilla tactics. Like this is something that if you go through the Green Beret handbook, this is something that is like doctrine to us. This is what we are made for. This is what they were made for to do. But, you know, it went wrong, you know, and sometimes it does.
I bet he was like, oh, finally, you know, we're out of Pineland. But, you know, they have a federal subpoena.
Oh, really?
Yeah. To like confiscate a bunch of footage that the feds want to use to charge him. So Netflix is using the journalistic privilege to kind of combat that. But
tell his story.
Yeah.
So if you look at the Green Beret world, to go in and actually implement this basic principle or basics, what is that's not FID? What is it? Guerrilla warfare. It's unconventional warfare. Yeah. So to actually go in and do something like unconventional warfare, it's like it never really comes down the pipeline when it comes to Green Berets. Not anymore. Not during. It did happen sometimes because you heard of some very unconventional things of people like getting thrown in the back of a dumpster or a trash truck and trash dumped all on them just to get dropped off at some random mountain to do Overwatch so nobody watches you in some civilian vehicles. So things like that might actually happen, but to actually go in, train up a secret guerrilla force in the jungles of Colombia while planning a full-on invasion operation to overthrow a government that's next to them that ends up being a full-on amphibious assault. It's just like, as a Green Beret, you couldn't ask for better. I bet you there would have been every single Green Beret in group at that time, active or not even active. Like they could have been retired 20 years. They all would have had their hands up and been like, hell yeah, I'm going in. I want to do that job. Right?
Dude, I think I'm remembering some like, wasn't there was like an informant that was part of the guerrilla force that was just feeding all that information to Maduro the whole time?
I don't know.
I think they had like a vetting issue was like the whole reason that they didn't even get the chance to
kick it off.
Yeah, they just,
let's watch this.
They saw land and that was it.
Creating 30 million people. How'd that go?
No so bueno.
The self-proclaimed architect of an infiltration into Venezuela, Florida contractor and ex-Green Beret, Jordan Goudreau.
Everybody and their mom was trying to liberate Venezuela back then.
We are fighting for 23 years.
Jordan made statements that he was in direct contact with people within the administration.
Hola, I'm Mike Pence.
We discussed the nature of the operation, and I was going to catalyze change of government in Venezuela. I had the military in place. All we needed to do was coordinate. I figured, you know what? I'm good to go.
Really? You decided you're going to save the country?
Venezuela is an extremely resource-rich country.
Let's suppose that we are interested in that.
It was the first business contract I ever signed. So the contract was for $212 million.
Who's paying for that?
I didn't ask.
There had been camps set up with training going on.
I'm a man of my word, and if I say I'm going to invade a country, that's typically what I do.
Who is him to even give an opinion? Stick at it.
There was no U.S. government involvement in this operation. We'd have been involved, it would have gone differently.
When those guys are in jail, it's like a knife in my heart.
I don't know if we have 1 foot in reality and 1 foot in delusion.
We checked the guy, and that was red flag after red flag.
It wasn't in their best interest to liberate Venezuela.
This is like Firefest the Army. This had no chance of working.
I still have the element of surprise.
His name was on TV. The contract was on TV.
Was I in over my head? Yeah. But I'm always in over my head. I'm in the over your head business.
I don't know, man. What do you think?
It's good, dude. I want to watch it.
I'm definitely going to watch it.
I just got so many,
dude.
It's like something that happened. And then, I mean, we were still in at the time. So I don't know. I didn't have much of an appetite for anything other than
job,
company business.
Yeah.
So when I saw this, I was just, this is one of a team room discussion. Didn't really dig into it too much, but definitely interested to see it.
Dude, what if someone plopped down and was like, hey, I want you to do this for me. I'll give you $212 million. Would you sign that contract?
I think everybody would.
Oh, man. I would definitely have like some question.
Dude, you could take that to like a random neighborhood in America and find somebody that'll be like, yep, I got you, fam.
I don't know if I'd do that. Not at all.
212 million?
Mm-mm.
No.
They would rat me out.
I mean, yeah. I want to see what happened.
I would, if something like that, I have probably a select few friends that I would definitely call, probably like on one hand, and I'm like, hey, this is what I got, man. Like, would you do it with me? And you know what? I guarantee you every one of them would say yes. The ones I'm thinking about, every one of them would say yes. And they're like, who else said yes? And I'll be like, I'd tell them. I know you would. If I looked at you like that, you would be like, man, I wouldn't even have to tell you. You'd be like, all right, man, I know you. We're going all in.
Yeah, I want to see exactly how he prepped for it. Like, did he just go by the book? How did he, there's so many questions. Because I feel like that's a very resource heavy endeavor, and it's not just, hey, here's some money, figure it out. It needs to be a bunch of other things involved with that. You have to have people in place for that. Like, you just can't willy-nilly, hey, I'm gonna buy a bunch of guns with this and put them on a boat and let's just go. You can't do that. Obviously you're not gonna be successful in any kind of real military scenario.
Man, I don't know. You would, you would definitely have people in place. Like, I know people in Colombia that I would hit up and be like, and they're ex-GBs too, and I'll be like, hey, brother, will you help me with this? And they would say yes, 100% they would say yes.
Who do you think offered the 212 million?
The government did.
Which part?
Man, it was U.S. aid, man. I bet you U.S. aid was involved.
Dude, every time I see anything like with the numbers with Omar and with I always just think about CIA. Right?
Yeah.
The Clintons, CIA. Obama, CIA. You always hear like the same. So I don't know if they're just using them as a scapegoat because they can't say anything. You know, they're like, hey, we can't really tell you what we're doing. So it's like the perfect scapegoat, right? Like, I just blame those guys. No one's gonna like pick on them.
I think it's man. Well, you know, if the U.S. government is involved, that they have to be paying it out of the State Department somehow, right? They just have to. They have to pay it out of the State Department. They have to pay it out of USAID, USIP, the CIA. There's a bunch of different agencies that they'll be able to just push that money. They have slush funds for things like that. You know, you always had a slush fund.
Yeah. So selling drugs to other Americans.
Pretty much, you know, like if you look at the Clintons was the governor of Arkansas when the Contras in Nicaragua was running drugs up into Arkansas and selling it all over the world. I mean, all over the U.S. Is that crazy? And then how does he become the president? Like that doesn't really happen. Okay. Yeah, right. I think Epstein was involved in that ordeal too, somehow.
The way that the preview or the trailer like made it look is like, hey, we're offering this contract. Who's gonna take it? Is that not how that looked?
I don't know. I think they headhunted him out. They specifically hunted him down. He probably has some background in contracting or something like that, of doing something maybe not like this, but something similar.
Bro, that's not enough, dude. I just like that guy that's talking. Who's the guy that's like talking shit about him? Whatever, we'll find out. But the guy's like, who are you? Who is this guy? Like exactly like you're just, dude. You need so many more resources, so much more time it can't just be a contract. Hey, here's some money and let's figure this out. Like, I don't know. This seems very, but then the government also denied anything to do with it. So I would lie. Where is this? Who gave him this paper with this slush fund?
I don't believe the U.S. government at all. I don't believe the U.S. government under Donald Trump. I didn't believe him under Obama. I didn't believe him under Biden. I don't believe him. Bush, Clinton, nope. I have zero accountability for any of them. They lost it all. They're at that point where they have to earn it back, and man, they just keep sliding down.
It's wild that the feds want to go after this guy. You know, like instead of going after whoever the mastermind is of this whole thing, they're like, hey, let's pick on this dude. It's like victim, basically. Like anybody would have attempted this for $212 million.
That's crazy, huh? I don't know, man. I think it's going to have to get down to like just watch the movie, see how it is. I'll probably do a little bit more research into it, see what I could find. Right here, I just seen that he claimed that he spent $50,000 of his own money to advance the expenses. I don't know.
JJ Rendon, political strategist for opposition leader Juan Guaido.
I don't know. I guess they were Venezuelan opposition figures. They were probably in exile in Colombia, you know? And so, I don't know, man. I want to watch the movie. I'll do a little bit more research on it, see where it came from. But it's just super weird. If these ex-Venezuelan officials are trying to pay this guy to help them out in a sense, where did they get $200 million if they're in exile out of Venezuela? Like, did they steal a bunch of Maduro money and bounce?
No, they probably know Ilhan Omar. Got some investment tips from her.
They definitely asked Pelosi, hey, how do we fund this? Can you get us some very...
I'm in the whole 60K, but I really need to get this coup kicked off.
Like ASAP, like 2020 timeframe, you know, like COVID's kicking off, they're weak, let's do this. And then they get their butt kicked.
That was during COVID times, huh?
Yeah, it was like May 2020. I wonder if they
were on that boat with masks on.
You know, they definitely didn't social distance across that river.
They didn't even have hand sanitizer, I bet.
Mm-mm. Disgusting. Living in the jungle too. How much COVID do you think was in the jungle? I don't know, man. Like, I just looking at it and just reading about it a little bit. Crazy to me that what do you think the U.S. government would have said if it didn't fail? That's the question.
Oh, the money was not even, it was structured to pay out upon success.
Yeah.
So what, they had 50K and whatever he put up of his own money to fund this?
You know, he also, well, look at the reward on him was 15 million. I think it's like 50 million now. So how many other venture capitalists do you think can fund this and get some extra money?
After Bay of Pigs, I just don't see the government just doing it. You know, like, really? That was a big, dude, I feel like that was a big embarrassing spectacle, especially for the CIA and all that stuff. Like, I don't think they would just be like, hey, let's not learn from past lessons and let's have this guy do this.
I don't know.
We not help him out at all.
Nobody talked about Kosovo.
What happened in Kosovo?
That was during like 2000, I think it was 99 to like 2001 or something.
Was there a random contract for $200 million?
No, SF went in there and ran amok.
And I was saying, like, if, you know, I feel like if they were being serious about it, they would have went about it a different way.
Yeah, but nobody talks about it because the war on terror happened. 9/11 happened. And then it sort of just like wasn't that big of a deal. Nobody cared about Kosovo. I remember having God, man, I can't even think of it. Like, not G-Cheese, but like the cadre at going through the Q course, and they were telling us about like Kosovo and stuff. Man, there was this one white dude, I can't remember his name. He would like sit us down with his chair, man. We'd just be sitting on the ground, you know, or on our rucksack, but he'll be like, all right, gentlemen, lock and load a lip of Copenhagen. And he'll be like, man, he'll pull this thing out there and be like, oh, just like slobber a huge dip in and be like, all right, let me tell you guys about Kosovo. I forgot his name, man. I was like, oh man.
Were they good stories?
Yeah, they were pretty good. They were getting after it, man. And it almost sounded like something like almost like what I envisioned SF would be like, in a sense, you know, like rolling out in whatever you want, however you want, bearded up, you know, doing your thing, like the Glory Day SF kind of thing. Not like that really went away, but more in the sense of like just in your mind. It was crazy to me to picture that, you know, just like.
I feel bad for this guy and all the stuff they had to go through. Like, I'm sure a lot of it was like self-induced stuff, but God, I really want, when does this thing come out?
September 9th.
September 9th.
You know what we should do? We should watch it, and then we'll just buy it. We'll watch it, you know, and then let's talk about it. Give a good review about it. Hey, all right. So we're going to end this video right here. That's probably a lot of us talking. And we appreciate you guys checking out the podcast. Make sure you guys give us a like, a share, comment down below. And check out our merch. Like, we're going to have our merch coming out. We're going to have a bunch more shirts, some good ones, some Maha hats, some hardcore Maha. You know, I really want to make America healthy again. If you check out Florida, also just said no more vaccines if you don't want it. All right. So this is Between Two Green Berets podcast. I'm Jesse James.
And I'm Frankie Four Fingers. And thanks for watching.
All right.